Hey guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Evan with Coaster Revolution, and today we're going to be doing another tier list, this time with Kennywood's current operating roller coasters. I visited Kennywood for the first time this summer, and it was a really cool amusement park. They have so many cool old rides, old roller coasters, really cool flat rides, so it was a really great experience overall, and the park was pretty crowded, which is great. Great that they're doing so well. So anyways, let's jump right on in here. And these are the same rankings I have for all my other tier list videos. Make sure to check those out if you haven't already. I currently have King's Dominion and King's Island done as well. I'm going to continue to do more tier list videos as I visit more parks. So we have Ultra Elite, which is like a 10 out of 10 ride. Elite, great, good, meh, and quite bad. And what makes a quite bad ride for me is it's either really boring or it's very rough, or both, for what it's worth. And then also haven't ridden is down here at the bottom. So let's jump right on into it. Let's start off with Exterminator. Exterminator is a spinning wild mouse. I would probably put it in the good category, just because it's spinning and the head has light theming, so it's pretty good overall. I think in a lot of cases when it's a mild ride, darkness and really adds to the experience because it disorients you. The worst part about this ride is the capacity is so horrible. It's probably one of the worst capacity rides I've ever seen. A lot of times they'll only load one person on each side of the car. And I'll throw a picture up there so you can see. So a lot of times there'll only be two people per car, which is really bad, or per train. Which is really bad. So I would recommend, after riding Steel Curtain, if it's open, go to this absolutely first. Don't go to anything else if you're trying to get all the credits, because Exterminator will have an absurdly long line if you don't. Okay, up next, let's do Lil Phantom, get that out of the way. It's a kiddie coaster. There's nothing too special about it. You know, I was kind of harsh on Great Pumpkin Coaster on the King's Dominion video. But it's great for like really young kids for being their first roller coaster, so I'll put it in the meh category. It's not necessarily a bad ride. But there's not much else to say about Lil Phantom. I didn't ride it during our visit, but I've ridden kiddie coasters similar to it, so there's really nothing too special about it. Let's do Steel Curtain next. Steel Curtain, in my opinion, Steel Curtain is a 9 out of 10 elite ride when it's running. Because a lot of times it's closed or they're dealing with maintenance issues. It's so unfortunate that, you know, SNS built this really good ride and it just has had so much downtime, so many malfunctions with it. It's really unfortunate because we probably won't see another ride like this built. And Kennywood might even sue SNS. Who knows what will happen with that. But Steel Curtain, the reason I think it's elite and why I probably like it more than most enthusiasts is just because it does everything well. It's got good whip, it's got solid inversions, it's a long ride, it's got decent airtime. It does have a little bit of a rattle, but it doesn't bother me. But yeah, it does so well. It's got decent hang time, so it's really good overall, and I think it carries it up to the elite category because it does a little bit of everything pretty well. It doesn't do anything great. You know, it's nothing, you know, incredible, so don't set your hopes up too high, but I do think it's a good ride overall when it's operating. Of course, if you do go to Kennywood and you see Steel Curtain open, definitely go to it and do it first thing in the morning because it'll be a really long line. A lot of times they're only running one train on it because they have issues when they put more than one train on it. Hopefully SNS can figure out all the issues, but you know, it's 2022 and they're still having a lot of problems with it, so it's not looking good for it. Let's take a look at, let's see, this is Jackrabbit. Jackrabbit is so good. It's a great ride. 8 out of 10 ride. One of my favorite wooden roller coasters, honestly. Just because of the buzz bars, you can get so much airtime, especially on that double down towards the end of the ride. It's basically standing airtime, and you really only have, you know, a seatbelt holding you in. So it was just crazy. It actually felt like you were going to fly out of your seat and that it wasn't safe, which was awesome. So Jackrabbit is a great ride, definitely worth the wait, and one of the best coasters here at this park in my opinion. Next, Skyrocket. Skyrocket is also a great ride. I think this has really good forces. You know, it's got a punchy launch. It's nothing too intense, but you know, it does have that vertical drop and forceful inversion, and a pretty good drop off the mid-course too. It does fizzle out towards the end, which is why it's not ranked any higher. But really solid premier launch coaster. Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is, I believe this is the one where you have to have a partner. Thunderbolt is also a great ride. This one was crazy. I was riding it with a buddy of mine, and he was a bit bigger than me. Definitely need to pay attention to the ride ops when they tell you that the larger guest has to be on one side of the train, because it only makes, I think it only makes right turns or something like that. And the laterals on this thing are insane. Like, you get slammed into the other person next to you. It was pretty crazy and kind of intense in a way, just from the intense laterals. And again, buzz bars, you know, allow you to get really solid airtime. So it's just a really solid ride overall, not too rough. It's amazing how good Kennywood keeps all of these really old wooden roller coasters running. A lot of parks could learn from them. Let's do Phantom's Revenge. No, let's save that for last. We'll do Racer. Racer is a solid ride. It's a good ride overall. It's not too intense, but again, because of the buzz bars, it really allows you to get solid airtime as opposed to some of the other racing wooden roller coasters. So I am going to put it above Exterminator here in the good category. Finally, let's rank up Phantom's Revenge. Phantom's Revenge is an ultra elite coaster in my opinion. 10 out of 10 ride. It's really solid. It's in my top 10, I believe. I'll put it on the screen so you can see what it is in my ranking. But it's just incredible. I really wish that more old aero loopers would get converted, you know, because this was like I think it was a Chance or a Morgan conversion, in which they just turned this into a hypercoaster instead of an old aero looper. The second drop is actually what classifies this as a hypercoaster, because that drops 200 feet down into the ravine and it dives under Thunderbolt, which is really incredible. Has a good head chopper moment too. And then just towards the end, the ejector airtime hills are just insane. They're so good. It's not rough. It's butter smooth. I don't think the restraints are too bad at all. Some people compare the restraints to like Magnum XL200, but they're way better than Magnum's restraints. I didn't feel hardly any pain from these, but Magnums are a piece of trash in my opinion, those restraints on Magnum. But yeah, this is just a really great ride. I think overall, Kennywood has a really solid lineup of coasters. They could use a couple more, maybe a little bit more diverse lineup of steel coasters in the future, but they are also limited on the land and the space that they can build. So, you know, we'll probably see another new coaster within the next, 5 or 8 years. They seem to add roller coasters at a slower pace than some other parks, but it works for them. Because, like you can see, they don't really have any bad rides here. Really solid park overall. I would definitely recommend visiting here. For Phantom's Revenge and Steel Curtain alone, it's worth it, but they also have some really awesome classic old Woodies and really good flat rides too. I definitely recommend checking out some of those too. As always, the link to the tier list is going to be in the description, so you guys can take the quiz if you want. Also, let me know down in the comments if you have any differing opinions about any of these roller coasters. So that's all for Kennywood's roller coaster tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more roller coaster content coming your way.